Hi, in this lesson we're going to be talking about the Godhead. There's a lot of confusion out there in the world about God, Godhead, the divine nature, nature of deity, things like that. Of course, there are those who deny that there is such a thing as divine nature, and atheists would deny that. Eastern religions would mostly say that everyone has divine nature. But then within the community of people who would believe in Jesus, believe in God, in heaven, there would be those who would say there's one being with divine nature, and others who say there are three beings. Well, the Bible, of course, has the answers for us, and we're going to examine one of the points concerning this right now, and that's going to be the point of whether or not divine nature exists. Now, the Bible approaches it from the standpoint that there is a God. It does not set out to prove God by a series of arguments, a series of reasonings, if you will, that there is a God that exists. In Genesis 1, verse 1, it starts out, in the beginning, God. In Genesis 1, verse 3, and God said. So it's just an assumed fact in the Bible that there is a God, that God does exist. Now, when you get to Romans chapter 1, verses 18 to 20, it discusses this very idea. For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who suppress the truth in unrighteousness. Because what may be known of God is manifest in them, for God has shown it to them. For since the creation of the world, His invisible attributes are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even His eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. In other words, from the very beginning, the evidence for God, for the existence of God, is beyond measure. It's abundantly clear. And so men are without excuse. It takes someone who does not want to believe that there is a God to reach the conclusion that there is not a God. In other words, an open and honest heart will look around this world, this universe, and say, you know what? There is a God. You think about this. In Hebrews chapter 3, verse 4, it makes a very plain, yet a very logical statement. For every house is built by someone, but He who built all things is God. If you're walking through the woods, let's say you're hiking in the Appalachian Mountains or in the Rocky Mountains, and you come upon a log cabin. You see this cabin has a door, has windows, has a fireplace, has a roof, all these things like that, compartmentalized rooms inside. You do not automatically think, well, this just happened to be here. Isn't this an amazing thing that over the past 5 million years that all of the elements have come together and the trees have fallen just right and all the bark has been cleared away in a certain way off of those trees and they stuck together and they have nails in them or they have pegs in them and all these little rooms inside and the windows just so high off the ground and the door in this particular place. You don't think that. You don't think that nature itself brought this about. You understand there was an intelligent being that built this cabin. There was some type of power, some entity behind putting that cabin there. Well, the universe is infinitely more complex than a log cabin. You think about the sun, the moon, the stars, our own planet with its own heating and cooling system, if you will, with the way that it filters the air, it filters the water, all these different things. Much more complex than a log cabin. And yet people will say, it just happened by accident. I submit to you that just as a cabin would cause us to believe someone has been there, someone has built that, so the universe and this planet tells us someone has been here, someone has built these things. Now then, you see the intelligence of God as well. In Psalm 139, verse 14, the psalmist reflects on himself and on his nature and how wonderful and amazing it is. In Psalm 139:14, I will praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your works, and that my soul knows very well. The human body is an amazing machine, if you will. We have never made anything that could compare to it. Now, we've made computers. And we've made rocket ships and airplanes and amazing crafts that go out into the water, whether it's a surface or under the surface like a submarine. And we've done amazing things in this world as men. Now, everything we have created has been the result of our intelligence, and we are more intelligent than the thing which we have made. Sometimes it may not seem like it, but in the end we are. We're smarter than computers. We're smarter than airplanes. We're more intelligent than anything that has ever been created, invented, if you will, by man. Well, what is it that created man? And what type of intelligence does that being have? Well, God created us, and God is an intelligent God because the thing which is made is less intelligent than the thing which made it. God is intelligent. God made us. Now, in Psalm 19, verses 1 through 6, the psalmist reflects on the universe. And the universe declares the power of God. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament shows His handiwork. Day unto day utters speech, and night unto night reveals knowledge. There is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard. Their line has gone out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. In them He has set a tabernacle for the sun, which is like a bridegroom coming out of his chamber, and rejoices like a strong man to run its race. Its rising is from one end of heaven, and its circuit to the other end, and there is nothing hidden from its heat. You think about all the things that we have made that are powerful. You think about, let's say, nuclear bombs. Perhaps the most powerful physical force that man has ever come up with. And it's amazing. And it shows the power that we have, the abilities that we have. Well, you think about the sun, the moon, the stars, and how powerful they are. You think about hurricanes, earthquakes, volcanoes, the power that is in them. We are absolutely helpless to stop any of those things. We may be able to tell when they're coming, when they're going to happen, getting close, measure when they do happen, observe that, but that's about it. We cannot do anything to alter, to change what is going on with volcanoes, earthquakes, hurricanes, weather systems, tornadoes, things like that. Well, God created all those things, and if He created them, He is more powerful than them. There is great power in God. And finally, in Acts chapter 14, we understand that, as Paul said in Romans, and as he essentially preaches here in Acts 14, we are without excuse. He says here, "Men, why are you doing these things? We are also men with the same nature as you, and preach to you that you should turn from these useless things to the living God, that is, from idols to God, who made the heaven, the earth, the sea, and all things that are in them, who in bygone generations allowed all nations to walk in their own ways. Nevertheless, He did not leave Himself without witness, in that He did good, gave us rain from heaven and fruitful seasons, filling our hearts with food and gladness." You see, when we realize that we've had the sun, the rain, all the elements provided to us, all the food to eat, God's provided that, and we are without excuse. There is a God. Open your heart, open your mind. You will see there is a Creator in this universe. Thanks for watching the lesson. Thanks for considering these things. If you have any questions, have any comments, please let us know. Just fill out the comment box, and we'll be sure to get back to you.